Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will feature a new era of Groot, who is introduced to the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special known as Swole Groot. Our man looks like he's been doing some two-a-days at the Nowhere Gym, or maybe joining the God of Thunder on a muscle building plan, or maybe just sharing toothbrushes with Hulk whenever he went to Sakaar, based on the fluid transfer logic of She-Hulk. For real though, what's going on with Swole Groot? How Groot swole? Why Groot swole? I'm gonna explain some stuff you might not have known about this Groot's biology, his anatomy, and how he's actually a far more complex and mysterious creature with perhaps a deeper role to play in Guardians Volume 3. Also, you can come meet me live at LA Comic-Con this Sunday, December 4th, with other New Rockstars hosts. It's gonna be a great time. Come hang out with us. Okay, compared to the last time we saw Groot, his physiology has certainly bulked out. Wide plates of bark now stretch across his chest like pectoral muscles, and shoulders kinda looks a lot like football players' shoulder pads. His bark even seems to be outgrowing his skeletal structure, leaving chunky gaps between the joints. Like, notice how Rocket and Cosmo's tree decorations slide right through the gap of his arm in the post-credit scene. And I would say this bark also looks reminiscent of armor. Armor that angles upward from the shoulders. Yes, armor worn by Celestials. That could be important. I'll come back to it. And by the way, many have thought Swole Groot was a practical suit, but no. James Gunn has confirmed he is 100% CGI. From the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy film, Groot's homeworld was listed as Planet X. In the comics, he is a species known as Flora Colossi. These tree-like beings are ruled over by arbor masters who endow each new generation with photonic knowledge via photosynthesis, which is pretty much all the accumulated knowledge of every past generation, making every one of these things a freaking genius. And while Groot's vocal utterances sound to us like the simple phrase of "I am Groot," in the comics, the Inhuman Maximus Mad clarified that Groot is actually saying a variety of things, and others who hear him initially are just oblivious to the nuances and tonal variations of his speech. Now, to be clear, when Groot died in the 2014 film, he was not reborn or cloned as Baby Groot. Baby Groot is the original Groot's progeny, his offspring, his son, a being with a completely different life and a completely different mind, and no passed on memories from his father. James Gunn has had to clarify this quite a bit on Twitter recently when people ask why Swole Groot is developing differently than the original Groot Groot having an adult build that was much lankier. Gunn has even elaborated in a few interviews, like with Entertainment Weekly.
So we also get like the latest edition of Groot. So we had Baby Groot, Angsty Teen Groot. What is the approx age of this Groot, and what do we call him?
He's Swole Groot. So
Swole Groot.
I call him Swole Groot.
He is like jacked.
He's jacked, man. He's jacked. I think he's a collegiate, like excitable football Groot. I think you can see now that he's very much a different Groot than the original Groot. He's grown into somebody quite different, and he's becoming his own, his own Groot.
And with Daniel Chen on the Ringers Mint Edition podcast.
It looks like it's been bulking season for Groot, but what stage of his development do we find this Swole Groot, you could call him, in this
I call him Swole Groot. Yeah, he started out as YA Groot, young adult Groot, right? The collegiate Groot, I think that you can start to see this is a very different Groot than the Groot in the first movie. He really is Groot's progeny. He's not Groot. He's Groot, just not that Groot. And you get to see that he's developing a little bit differently. He's not a skinny guy. He's a bulky guy. That's his natural body type. He just started to fill out when he got through his teen years. This Groot is a very exuberant Groot. He's very excited about things. He's got a lot of energy. He's ready to go face the world. Hasn't been disappointed by, his 20s as many people are.
So we're starting to see a recurring description from James Gunn on this age of Groot specifically. Collegiate, athletic, a bit broy, optimistic, exuberant, early 20s, but not burned by his 20s as people in their 30s are. Actually, back in the year 2020, Vin Diesel did an interview with Brandon Davis at comicbook.com and had another way of describing this era of Groot.
I only have two words about that character, and it is Alpha Groot.
At the time, we all wondered what Alpha Groot meant, but since this Swole Groot sounds the most like Vin Diesel's actual voice, I really think Swole Groot was what Vin Diesel was referring to as Alpha Groot. Vin Diesel's basically saying, "I'm already an alpha. I'm Vin. I'm already an alpha. I can't do it. I'm already an alpha. Also, why didn't She-Hulk invite me to her barbecue? I invented that family." That hurt my throat. Now, it can be hard to watch actors and not immediately think, hey, I'd like to have gorgeous skin and hair just like they do. Well, with Geology, you can. Geology is a 4-time award-winning personalized skincare company recognized in Men's Health, Esquire, and Ask Men Grooming Awards with over 6,000 5-star reviews. And they've recently expanded to offer products for, well, pretty much whatever you need. Like if you need hair care, use Geology's Co-Wash. It's a specially formulated cream cleanser that removes buildup and cleanses the hair without the big lather or harsh ingredients of typical shampoo. And for the rest of your shower routine, you can use their body washes. They're free of harsh ingredients, smell great, and are refillable. And for after the shower, protect your skin from environmental stressors with vitamin C plus E ferulic serum to keep your skin looking young and healthy, and then a bit of the dermatologist tested aluminum-free deodorant that quite honestly smells great. Right now, for a limited time, Geology is hooking our audience up with an absolutely insane offer. If you use the code NEWROCKSTARS, they will give you an additional 70% off their award-winning skincare trial set. This discount stacks on top of their current sale prices, and there's also an additional bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, and body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. With the holidays right around the corner, Geology has you covered. Check out their awesome gift sets featuring all of your favorite Geology products. To get started, just click the link in the description, take a 30-second diagnostic quiz, and their team of dermatologists will design a personalized routine just for you that ships directly to your door. Also, that was the same interview where Diesel revealed that Groot would appear in Thor: Love and Thunder, and in that movie, Groot was still in his adolescent Groot anatomy form from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And when asked about the timeline of all this, James Gunn said that in his mind, the Guardians were with Thor for only a few weeks, and he implied that the Guardians Holiday Special and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are set after that. And in that time since, they have used their money for mercenary gigs to buy Nowhere from the Collector and set it up as their new home base. And as someone who was lucky to see the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer footage from Comic-Con, I can tell you, Swole Groot is the era of Groot that we will see in that film. There is a shot in that footage where Groot and Peter Quill are back to back, their arms outstretched in a shootout, and Groot's hands, his arms, and his shoulders are the same bulky proportion. Now, from James Gunn's interviews, it sounds like he updated Groot into Swole Groot deliberately to show that this Groot is a different being than the original Groot, not his clone, but his son. His destiny is not to regrow back into the OG Groot from the 2014 Guardians film. That Groot is dead. Something different has happened in the life of this Groot. And what is that? Because what we have instead is a new Groot with different life experiences. And that Groot, when you think about it, has been pretty consistent across the films. He's creative and crafty, like he made art of the Guardians in the I Am Groot short, and then the holiday special, he quickly made dioramas for each of them. This Groot loves to dance. He danced to Mr. Blue Sky in Volume 2, and he danced to the old 97s now. He's the only person in Nowhere who danced along to that. He's also a gamer. He played the Defender handheld game in Infinity War, and he hops with excitement to get an original Game Boy now. So why is this Groot swole while the other Groot wasn't? I think it comes back to that concept of photonic knowledge that I brought up earlier. Groot is a product of photosynthetic influences. The OG Groot was a beneficiary of photonic knowledge from his Arbor Masters, but that hasn't been the case for this Groot. This Groot has been cut off from his home world. His family instead has been Rocket, Drax, Quill, the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So his personality and his nature are more a product of their influences, and his cellulose has been absorbing their light. And I don't use the term light just poetically here, though it's fine if you would prefer to just leave this as a matter of, well, Groot is swole because of the self-care he learned from overly fit weirdos like Drax and Peter Quill. Rocket may not have been his father, but he was his daddy. Really, I think Groot possesses a biological function, a form of photosynthesis that converts radiation emitted from nearby life forms into his anatomical structure. That's why the OG Groot emitted glowing spores when he gave his life, and it's why when Ego described the celestial gene that he hoped would pass down to his offspring Peter Quill, and we just learned in the holiday special his daughter Mantis, Ego said these words.
One after the other, they failed me. Not one of them carried the celestial genes. Until you, Peter. Out of all my spawn, only you carried the connection to the light.
Light, like the balls of light that he and Peter Quill played catch with. And how did Meredith Quill describe Ego and Peter on her deathbed?
Sound like your daddy. You even look like him. And he was an angel. Composed out of pure light.
Where?
Light again. Therefore, I believe that Groot has, unlike his father, grown into this Swole Groot form because he has spent most of his life in the company of at least two celestial offspring, Peter Quill and Mantis, who emit higher degrees of cosmic radiation. Radiation which endowed Groot with a different kind of photonic knowledge to make him act more like friggin' Andy Dwyer and an oversensitive empath, while photosynthetically giving him the wooden form of celestial armor. Let me know your thoughts on Swole Groot and follow me on TikTok, Hive, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.